What's up guys, it's ENDYMION, and with the warm reception to my previous video about how BioWare saved The Witcher, I've decided to keep making Witcher content, and with that being said, today I want to cover everything we know about the future of the Witcher series in video game form only. As it was stated by CD Projekt during various interviews in the past year, the studio is currently in pre-production on a new entry in the Witcher franchise. They said specifically, according to CEO Adam Kaczynski, that the next game in this series already has been decided internally at the company, and it has a clear concept to build upon. But Kaczynski went on to say that fans shouldn't expect the next game to be called Witcher 4 outright, but will likely be something like The Witcher, insert name here, instead. Now, with how The Witcher has exploded in popularity over the last few years, no doubt due to the Netflix series, fans have been clamoring at what this next game could be about, and according to CDP, The Witcher 3 was, by all accounts, the finale to Geralt's story, which has me wondering where a sequel could go, not to mention the myriad of different choices and endings The Witcher 3 already has. Now, before we go further into this video, I do want to say I will now be discussing the ending of Witcher 3, so spoilers for those who haven't completed it yet. Still here? Okay, well, The Witcher 3 ends with Geralt and Ciri helping Avallac'h in ending the White Frost, which is basically the end of all life. Of course, the ending can change based on your choices, with Ciri outright dying, Ciri becoming Empress, or what many consider as the good canon ending, with Ciri surviving the ordeal and going on to become a Witcher with Geralt. Now, of course, with the multiple endings, a sequel is difficult to do with Ciri and Geralt. However, CDP could just go the BioWare route and choose a definitive ending and claim it as canon and go with it. Similar to how BioWare has apparently anyway made the Destroy ending canon from Mass Effect 3. Of course, as well, I think there's really two clear directions a sequel to Witcher 3 could go. The first, and less interesting one in my opinion, would be a sequel with players creating their very own Witcher, down to the gender, hair, and all that, and the game being told from the perspective of a nameless Witcher who prowls the continent. While this would be fun, I don't think it's what CDP will do. In truth, I think CDP will do the more likely, and in my opinion, far more interesting route, and that is simply that Witcher 4 will be from the perspective of Ciri, and players will just play as her as she continues on from the events of Wild Hunt. Why this would be far more interesting in my opinion is that the Witcher games were never about being a custom character like in Skyrim or Dark Souls. You were Geralt of Rivia, and it was great because of that. So by having Ciri be the next hero, not only does it make sense from the ending's perspective, but Ciri being a child of Elder Blood who's capable of fantastical magical prowess wouldn't just be interesting to explore the world with, but really it would open the various gameplay ideas that CDP could also have fun with as well. Not to mention, Ciri is the Lady of Space and Time, and with Witcher 3 allowing players to, if briefly, enter various other dimensions in the game's narrative, an open world game with Ciri as its focus could allow CDP to create a sequel where the environment, stories, and enemies you face wouldn't even need to be tied solely to the world that the trilogy took place in originally either. We could have new stories and threats that exist in other dimensions of reality, since the Wild Hunt also comes from outside of our dimension to begin with. Really, you could only begin to fathom what sort of crazy things exist outside of the known world that Geralt and Franz live in. Of course, Geralt could too be in the game, although most likely in a sort of teacher-advisor role, which would be a great thing to do, and it would honor the legacy of his character as well. Plus, since the conjunction of the spheres is never properly explained as to why it happened, that would be a great mystery thread for CDP to build upon and allow players to discover with Ciri. Really, in the end, The Witcher 4, or whatever it ends up being called, is going to happen. It simply is so requested by the community at large that CDP would be moronic to not answer the call at this point. And I believe a full-blown Ciri-led trilogy of games exploring the vastness of life and troubles outside of the well-worn continent would be an amazing and riveting adventure full of incredible things to discover. And like I said previously, with Ciri having access to the Elder Blood, her abilities from a gameplay perspective could vary wildly in range and allow CDP to create interesting ways to interact with the environment as well, like teleporting between cliff sides or creating more vertically designed levels, sort of in a sense to how Sekiro is designed with its more vertical level design as opposed to Dark Souls. And with entire worlds full of crazy powerful elves, weird creatures, and who knows what else, a new Witcher game about exploring these uncharted dimensions would be, in my opinion, the most interesting thing CDP could do with the sequel, and it's not even close in my opinion. But that's what we know so far about The Witcher 4, only that it's happening and CDP has the direction cemented and ready to happen. Hopefully I've explained enough ideas here that anyone watching can build upon, and I thank you for watching. Subscribe to give my life meaning. Thanks to my patrons for their support, and I'm ENDYMION. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.